Hello everyone. The chapter for today is chapter 2 is Matter Around Us Pure for grade 9. In this chapter today we would be talking about what is mixture, what are the different types of mixture, then we will talk about the properties of solutions, suspensions, colloids, and at the end, we will see one, activity which is based upon Tyndall effect. So, what are the objectives of this lesson? To understand the definition of mixtures, to differentiate between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures, to state the properties of solutions, suspensions, and colloids, and at last, to differentiate between colloids and solutions. So let's get started. As you all know, mixtures. What are mixtures? Mixtures are something in which you find more than one kind of pure form of matter. Like pure form of matter means we talk about element. Elements are the purest form, okay, because they contain only one kind of atom. So if I add, suppose I'm taking gold, but I'm adding, some another element into it, some atoms of some other element into it, so then it will not be called as a pure gold. It will be impure gold, okay, because it has some percentage of impurities in it. So such type of substances are known as mixtures. Now, mixtures can be classified into two categories. Now, what is the first of all, what is the criteria? Criteria for their classification is the distribution of particles. Means we have to find out that whether the particles are uniformly distributed or non-uniformly distributed. So the one in which we have uniform distribution of the particle, uniform distribution, we call them as homogeneous. Uniform means when all the particles are present, but you can actually not see that, yes, okay, it has three types of different particles, four type of different particles. No, you cannot see any particle in it. Now, heterogeneous means which has non-uniform distribution. So non-uniform means somewhere you can, find out, you can differentiate. Yes, these particles are present in it. Now let's see. I have taken a very simple daily life example to make you understand this concept of homogeneous and heterogeneous. We all make tea at home. So when you prepare tea, at that time, what you take? You take water, you add, tea leaves, then you add sugar, then you add milk into it. At that time, you can see the particles, but once it is done and you strain it, the extract that you obtain, the tea that you obtain, can you now tell just by looking that yes, these particles are present? No, because the particles have been distributed uniformly. So such type of mixtures are homogeneous mixtures. So tea is the best example of it. Now, if I need to understand heterogeneous mixtures, so like you can see, milk plus cornflakes over here. Now you keep it for a long time even, then also you can easily differentiate that yes, this milk contains cornflakes. Okay, so that means the particles are not uniformly distributed, and so after some time, these cornflakes will even settle down at the bottom. So such type of mixtures are known as heterogeneous mixtures. Now, before coming to this, now let me, go back to the slide one. Now, homogeneous mixtures, you all have now understood. We have given them special name, that is true solutions. Homogeneous mixtures are true solutions. Okay. Now, heterogeneous, whereas we can further classify them into two categories. That is, one is suspension and one is colloid. Now, children, here comes the, something magical, because in suspensions you will be able to see the particles easily, but in colloids you will not be able to see. So now we will understand the difference. Before that, you have to understand homogeneous mixtures are true solutions. Heterogeneous are basically of two types. suspensions and colloids. Now let's understand their properties, that how we will be able to differentiate, on what properties we will be able to differentiate between them. The first basic property that comes over here is the particle size. This is the major difference, in all these three mixtures. Solutions, their particles are very small. Very small means even less than 1 nanometer. So here comes the range that you have to remember is 1 to 100 nanometer. Okay, now 1 to 100 nanometer, if particle size is less than 1 nanometer, that means very small, you cannot see with your naked eye, that comes under solutions. If it is more than 100 nanometer, more than 100 nanometer, so it is suspension and it can be easily seen with the naked eye. But if it lies somewhere between 1 to 100, now again, it will not be visible with your naked eye. It will not be visible with your naked eye. But we will not call it solution, we will call it as colloids. So that means even in heterogeneous mixture, we have one type whose particles are not easily visible with the naked eye. So this will create confusion to differentiate between solutions and colloids, because in solutions also we are not able to see particles, and in colloids also we are not able to see the particles. So now if I give you two mixtures, one is solution, one is colloid, just by seeing it will become very difficult for you. So to remove this confusion, we have one effect, that is Tyndall effect, a very important effect. This effect is basically a scattering of beam of light. Means when you pass light through mixtures, if their particle size is big enough, then it will scatter the light and it will eliminate the entire mixture. But if the particle size is very small, then it will not be able to eliminate it, it will not be able to scatter it. Okay, so the one which will show scattering of light, that means they are showing Tyndall effect. And one which will not scatter light, that means they are not showing Tyndall effect. So now, but what about suspensions? Will they show scattering of beam of light or not? Yes, there will be two cases when you are dissolving them. Okay, at that time, since particles are uniformly distributed, so at that time, if you will try to pass a beam of light, they will show scattering of light. But once you leave them undisturbed, if you leave them undisturbed, then what will happen? Bigger particles will settle down. Bigger particles will settle down. And once bigger particles will settle down, now the upper one which are floating are very small. And they are not big enough to scatter the beam of light. So again, in that case, suspensions will not show Tyndall effect. Okay, so first of all, what I have to do if I take mixture, so I have to leave it undisturbed for some time. So if it is suspension, then I will get to know, okay, its particles are settling down, so it is suspension. So I need not to even do Tyndall effect for that. So suspension is removed from the category because we have found out, we have identified. Now we have left undisturbed solution as well as colloids, but in both the cases, particles will not be, settling down. Now we will do Tyndall effect. So now, children, I have done one activity for you all to, show this Tyndall effect. So I hope, this will create some, clarity in your concept.
Hello everyone. Today we will study about Tyndall effect. Students, you all know that it refers to the scattering of light by finely suspended particles in something such as colloids. Now here I am taking two glasses. This glass has water and sugar dissolved in it, and this glass has milk dissolved in water. Okay. Now, to study Tyndall effect, we have to see that whether this sugar solution will allow the scattering of light or not. And same is the case with the dissolved in water. Now I am taking a source of light over here and I will pass the light through first glass which is containing water. Now as you can see that the light is entering and exiting, but you cannot see the path of light, right? Now, if I repeat this thing with a milk dissolved in a glass, now let us see what happens. Can you see the ray of light, the path of light? To observe it beautifully, I'm switching off the light so that you can see the effect clearly. Now see. Can you see the path of light and how you can see a beam of light through the mixture so beautifully? Right now, let us understand what is exactly happening over here. So now I would be showing you one sheet which will explain you the entire content. Now see, this was our sugar solution and this was the milk dissolved in water. Now these are the sugar particles. Can you see? These are the small size sugar particles and these are the bigger sized milk particles. Now since sugar particles were smaller in size, since they have dissolved in water, so they could not scatter the light. And here milk particles were bigger in size, so they were scattering the light in different directions, due to which you can see the path of the light. So students, here we come to the conclusion that colloids scatter a beam of light, but true solutions like our sugar solution do not scatter a light. Now to understand this Tyndall effect, you can practice it, the same experiment with different solutions, colloids at your home also. I hope you will do it and you will enjoy the activity. Thank you so much.
So, as you have seen the activity also, now I hope this activity has created a clarity among you to differentiate between solutions and colloids. So, children, I hope you have enjoyed this activity and you will do this activity at home, and you can practice it with different substances. So that's all for the day. Thank you so much. Bye.